Looking for these better days.
It is Thursday, January 22nd. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. Free plays keep cashing up on betterday.com. We inch closer to Championship Sunday in the NFL, a big UFC card this weekend. We'll tell you more about that as well. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac, congratulations to anybody who tailed your free play of the day yesterday. 2 in a row now up on betterday.com, cashing the free play. Last night's free play, which is always available on our homepage at betterday.com now, was the Indiana Pacers team total to go under against the Boston Celtics. This was the system that you and I used to talk about ad nauseum, and it is still coming through, Mackenzie.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. Bet it almost every time. In this case, we had a twofer where the Celtics were off a loss, so we love their defense to pick up. The first quarter, the first 30 minutes of the game, they allowed 32 points. So Pacers got hot late, didn't matter. So that was a good spot to be in. Also, they just lost to this Pacers team about a week ago, and that's a subset that we haven't talked about ad nauseum as much, but also 55% if you're betting those team totals under the last 4 years with the Celtics.
Absolutely, and I was a little nervous watching the third quarter as the Pacers did score 32 points in that third, but they finished with 104 points. Celtics get a win. Celtics get a cover, 119-104 the final. Also a team that got a cover yesterday, Mackenzie, the New York Knicks.
Oh boy, did they.
120-66 embarrassment over the Brooklyn Nets. And I guess if you're going to have a players-only meeting to kind of right the ship, you should do it before playing a G League team. And that's what the Knicks did, winning by 54 points, largest win in franchise history.
Absolutely. Definition of a get-right game. Only their third win in the last 12, but nobody's talking about that right now. And what's interesting about this game is each quarter got better. They dominated the first quarter, up 18, but they dominated the fourth quarter. They won that quarter by 22. So that's exactly what you're talking about. They talked about it. They had that intention. They were just going to play to the whistle to kind of make a statement more than this game is concerned.
And we thought about maybe fading the Grizzlies with their first game back from Europe. They played the 2 games against the Magic in Berlin and in London. We saw money coming in on the Atlanta Hawks, so you thought that it was already baked in. And even after the show yesterday, like throughout the day, more money came in on the Hawks. The spread got even lower, and Atlanta winds up pulling away and winning 124-122.
Their offense had really been struggling without Trae Young the last 20 games or so. But if Jalen Johnson can put up a 32, 15, and 8 game, they're not going to remember what Trae Young's name was. Ja Morant went over his prop. I saw a couple handicaps on when it's a closer spread, Ja Morant tends to perk up. And the last 3 games, just in general, it seems like he's really trying to put his best foot forward, whether to stay on Memphis or to increase his trade value. You could argue either way, but he's been playing a lot better.
Do we want to fade the Orlando Magic tonight in their first game back from Europe? The Magic currently up on FanDuel, 6.5-point favorites over the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, I think that's generally the way you want to look at it. Charlotte, the second night of a back-to-back, so they're not in the best spot either. But they're a young team with Con Knipple and LaMelo Ball now coming off the bench. I don't think they're fazed by being on the second night of a back-to-back. So I lean Hornets there.
Elsewhere tonight, I know it's no Jimmy Butler, but the Warriors are playing the Mavericks, and there's been like a lot of talk across social media and whatnot about how the Mavericks cover against winning teams. And here you have a Warriors team that comes in 25-20 on the season. Yes, a little bit shorthanded, but is this a spot where we want to back the home Dallas Mavericks here, catching 4 points at home?
I think so. Plus the 4.5 you can get at some spots. I'm not convinced that the Warriors aren't still shell-shocked. They were killing the Heat. Their best player, second best player, best all-around player goes down, and then the next night they're down by 30 in the first half versus the Raptors. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think a lot of people are like, I knew the Warriors weren't going to win the championship. What's the difference without Jimmy Butler? They didn't know that. Draymond Green didn't know that. Steph Curry did not enter this season thinking this is a lost season, and I think that realization is starting to dawn on them.
Okay. Yeah, there's been a lot of love for the Mavericks when they go up against these winning teams. How about the battle for LA with the Lakers taking on the Clippers at the Intuit Dome? And currently up on FanDuel, it is the Clippers, a 1.5 point favorite.
I like the over here, 223.5. The Lakers have leaned into a more LeBron-centric identity, which means less defense. More Luka-centric identity, it means less defense. And the Clippers, as Kawhi Leonard is banged up yet again, are much more offensive focused. We just saw the Bulls put up 140 on them. The Lakers can put up 115, and this game's going over.
All right. Make sure you guys log on to betterday.com to take advantage of our free play of the day that will be listed
Undefeated
on the homepage. It is undefeated. It is 2-0, never lost. And make sure, obviously, I'm going to remind you each and every show, guys, just check the date. Okay, today is the 22nd, so obviously, don't if the article on the main page says 121. That's obviously yesterday's play. So it'll say 122, 26, which is today's date. That's the play you want here for Thursday night for our free play of the day. A free play every single day. Always available up on betterday.com. Speaking of the website, Mac, what do you think of our brand new betting tools feature, which has several calculators that you guys can use for free? Whether you are a member or not, you can head to betterday.com and utilize these free betting calculators. There is a parlay calculator, a hedge calculator, an EV calculator, which includes an implied probability calculator, as well as a break-even calculator. What do you make of this, Mackenzie?
I've used, for example, Vegas Insider's parlay calculator. I'll say this one looks better. Ours looks better, but I have never, outside of ChatGPT and Excel, had a quick way to put together what is a hedge, looks like, what breaks even. So I think this is, dare I say, industry leading. I haven't seen this anywhere. I think this is the quickest way to do those calculations online.
Just click on the betting tools link at the top of the page up on betterday.com. You have the parlay calculator. You can enter in the wager amount. You can enter in the odds on your legs. You can add as many legs as you want. Same thing for the hedge calculator. You can enter in your original bet details, and then you can choose, do you want to look for equal profit, or you can do a custom hedge? Like maybe you want to make sure that, okay, you're going to win X amount, or you want to like play around with your risk amount. The calculator is there for you guys to use. The EV, I think, is really excellent for people that want to know exactly if their bet is positive EV or not. You can look at the odds compared to your win probability. And if you don't understand win probability, well, you just look at your odds. So, for example, a minus 110 bet, which is the standard, VIG on a regular play, is a 52.4% implied probability. Actually, it's 52.38 implied probability. And so a plus EV bet would be if you have that same exact bet that is minus 110, but you get it for minus 105, right? Well, guess what? You now have some positive EV, Mackenzie.
And I love the use the implied. For example, if it's minus 200, you might not know that's 2/3, but you can just quickly, without having to use much of your brain cells, instead of looking for better picks and looking for better insight, use your brain cells for that, not for, all right, I have a minus 200, live line is minus 330, how good am I doing? Go to betterday.com, we'll tell you.
Yep, and the break-even calculator is kind of tied into that implied probability thing. Basically, you can just, how many bets you have to win in order to break even if you're consistently laying a certain amount of juice. So like we talked about with minus 110 odds is a 52.38% implied probability. Well, that is your break-even win rate, right? So if it's at minus 115, your break even is 53.49 you have to hit. If you're constantly betting at minus 200, you got to hit at almost 67% to break even. So it's very important. These are important tools. And the reason why I created this on the website, Mac, is I got such an enormous response to my anti-college football teaser tweet that I sent out on Monday night in response to unnamed ESPN personality giving out a 2-leg 6-point teaser at minus 135 odds on their partnered sportsbook. And And it's amazing the response from people that said, "Oh, the bet hit," and I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't mean that doesn't mean it's a good bet,
Right.
right?" Like
It's
just
supposed to hit more than 50% of the time, but it's got to hit 73% of the time to be any good.
exactly. So like you think about it, if you're consistently betting minus 135, well, here's your break even calculator. Now you have to hit 57.45% in order to break even. Okay. But here's the thing when it comes to that teaser, you're not just winning, it's not just one bet you have to hit. You have to hit two bets because you're betting two sides. And so like it's like I responded to people and I'm like, yeah, you know what else won? Indiana money line. And you could have just bet that. You could have just bet that by itself, and you didn't have
Exact
to.
score 27-21.
Exactly, but you know what I'm saying? It's like you could have just bet one thing, and you didn't have to worry about sweating out a total or whatever. But I felt that, and people again, the reason why I wanted to do these calculators is because of the responses that I got, because people just thought I was making fun or that I was, trying to brag about being smart or anything like that. No, I'm trying to educate. And that's what we're trying to do here at betterday.com. When I say we're more than just picks, we're not just giving out picks. We're giving you guys the tools to become better sports bettors. And these calculators are going to help you educate yourselves on how to be better bettors. So I recommend, like when you guys are playing these same game parlays, and we always have fun with them, like we really do. We have fun building the same game parlays. But you know what else is a good tool here? Go use our parlay calculator and now put in each individual odd on the legs
Right.
that you would be putting in the same game parlay, and you'll find out exactly how much you're getting robbed
Yeah,
on
right.
on the value of your bet. Or on the flip side, when things are negatively correlated, actually, if you are if you are taking advantage of the sports book, and then that becomes actually a positive EV bet. So utilize the tools. They are free for everyone. You do not have to be a member, but we highly recommend you being a member, right? Because you'll get the free daily newsletter every single morning. And then if you want to elevate your betting game and get all the picks and get all the resources that we have, like the Trench Report, like the databases for NBA and NHL, the NHL Game Center, and coming soon, our prop bet analyzer, well, you can certainly become a Better Day Insider or Premium member. All right, Mac, let's talk some football.
Every Friday from 6 to 7:30, it's NBA Happy Hour on FanDuel, your pregame for the weekend. We're talking limited time specials you won't want to miss. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all dropping in the app during happy hour. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app to see the week's special. Then, make your move before the shot clock expires at 7:30 Eastern. It's the perfect way to start your weekend. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. Or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
As we get closer to Championship Sunday, Mackenzie, every day I'm looking at the odds boards to see if there has been any change. And guess what? We have had movement in the AFC Championship game. So currently up on FanDuel, the New England Patriots are now a 4.5-point favorite over the Denver Broncos. So it feels like people are coming over to our side, which is on the Denver Broncos, where we were from the minute this line opened up. And I think do you think this is because of maybe conversations by Sean Payton that's getting out in the media now, or just everybody talking about how ridiculous of a spread this was to begin with, not, with an overreaction and not having Bo Nix worth 7 points to the point spread?
I think it's more of the latter. I mean, what is Sean Payton going to say? The guy sucks. You should have seen him in practice today.
Well, he said he's going to let it rip. that was the
and I believe him, and I also would think that's his mentality. Without him saying that, I think it's more of the latter. It's a wisdom of crowds thing, because how much guesswork is just the basic concept of, all right, Denver Broncos don't have their starting quarterback. How good are they now? And I've been on the record of Bo Nix being a top 14 quarterback, not a top 6 quarterback, and I think there's 40 guys that could be a close facsimile of a top 12 quarterback for one game. I think it's a downgrade. I don't think it's a 6-point downgrade. I don't think it's a 7-point downgrade. I still think the number's off. I think it might close lower, 3.5 maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if that's what it closes at. When I was looking at the quotes and I was reading everything that was said here on yesterday, I guess it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, excuse me. It was Cortland Sutton said, quote, "I have no doubt in my mind that Jared's going to be ready to go. If there's a guy that prepares as well as Bo, it's him. He goes in and knows the entire playbook. He knows everything that needs to be done for us to go out there and have success." And then Sean Payton said, quote, "He's going to rip it, That'll be our approach. He's got a calm demeanor that I think suits him well. He's played in big games in college, I said this at the start of the season. I felt like our 2 was inside the best 32, meaning both of his quarterbacks were inside the best 32 quarterbacks in the league." He goes on to say, "I think everyone feels that way, but that's why that signing was important. And you don't know when it's happening, but I'm glad it happened," end quote. So this is what I was trying to say from last weekend. Like literally after the game ended and we found out the news, I'm on VSiN screaming, "Game of the year, bet the Broncos +6, bet the Broncos +5.5. Like everyone's
+6 at win. I think you stopped on your way home at the win with the +6.
Like everyone's going crazy. I'm like, I honestly, I felt like I was the crazy one, because I'm sitting here thinking, Sean Payton handpicked this guy. He made him the 4th highest paid backup in the league a couple of years ago. Like, he obviously believes in this kid. And then now you're starting to see everybody's coming out over the past couple of days with their film studies, watching Jarrett Stidham in that game for the Raiders against the 49ers, watching him in the preseason this year for the Broncos make some great throws. The kid can play. And just because he's not a starter doesn't mean he's not a capable quarterback in this league. As I mentioned several times on this pod, Jacoby Brissett is not a starting quarterback, but he is a very capable quarterback in the NFL. So for for 2 games, Jarrett Stidham can win you 2 games for the Denver Broncos. So I'd still jump in if you haven't already at +4.5, because I wouldn't be surprised, Mac, if you're right, if this goes down even further.
I mean, I know it's kind of apples to oranges, but it's not really. At the end of Russell Wilson's career with the Broncos, I believe Sean Payton when he said, "I want Jared Stidham to start because I think he gives them the best chance to win." And in those 2 games, he had, better than Russell Wilson's stats. So that was the last time he had an opportunity to start. He went 1-1 to end of that season. Top 40 in the world. I think gets it done for 1 game. I'm not going to give him 2. I think the Super Bowl is a different animal. But I would not be surprised to see him get there.
+1900, or you're betting him with me to win the Super Bowl MVP?
What are the Broncos? That's interesting, because I think he's, like any quarterback, he's going to have a good chance of winning it. Who else are you going to give it to?
Broncos are +1200.
I think he has more than a 50% or more than a 60% chance if the Broncos win. So if I would take 19-1 before I'd take 12-1.
Although the joke is it'll probably be like Nick Benito or like a defensive player, that wins it for the Broncos, right? If they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're that kind of team.
Yeah. Now, this is a bet that I saw, and it's up on FanDuel right now. So shout out FanDuel. And by the way, I might as well just give you, there's no change on the spread for the NFC game. It is, right now, it is the Seahawks -2.5 over the 49ers. But here's what's up.
Over the Rams.
Oh, excuse me, over the Rams. Yes. There's my Freudian slip there. Here is what is up on FanDuel right now, Mackenzie. You can bet Super Bowl anytime touchdowns.
Yes, it is the season.
So, now here's why these are actually great bets right now. Okay? Because if you bet a player that does not play in the Super Bowl, and no, I don't mean like the player got hurt, so you get a refund. No, I mean like if you bet a player on the Rams and the Rams lose to the Seahawks, guess what? Your bet is null and void, right? Actually,
Yes.
Timeout.
What, they can't take your money and say, well, he didn't win the MVP or he didn't score a touchdown.
No, Mackenzie. That's what they're doing.
The goddamn bookies.
I'm reading this right now. This is live, guys. We're not like, this is like, we're doing this live, okay? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I could edit this out if I want, but I'm not. Quote, all bets have action, regardless of if the specified player's team takes part in the Super Bowl. For teams that make the Super Bowl, players must play at least one snap for bets to have action. So let this sink in. I can't believe this. All bets are action. If you these are terrible bets now. I take it back. These are terrible.
You should multiply them by 4 because if you're getting 6 to 1, but you only have a 1/4 chance, or I guess 1 1/2 chance, you should multiply by 2, essentially, for each of these.
Oh my goodness! See, I thought I was getting away with something here, Mac, because I'm thinking, listen, Kyren Williams is plus 320 to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl right now. If the Rams make the Super Bowl, isn't Kyren Williams like minus 175 to score a touchdown? Or like
he's probably around minus 110 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not that crazy. You know what? Maybe the other example would be Kenneth Walker, who's plus 165 to score a touchdown. So maybe if the Seahawks make the Super Bowl, right, especially with Charbonnet done for the season, Walker's probably like minus 150, right?
I feel like they leave these odds up just so that 1 in 3 people that don't really think about it, don't know the odds, will be like, he's more than a 1/3 chance to score a touchdown. Yeah, if he plays, he's about a 50-50 chance to play.
Oh my God, I can't believe I just realized
Highway robbery.
That. I thought I was about to make a great bet. I thought I was sitting here going like, bro, we got to bet like Kyren Williams at plus 320 anytime touchdown in the Super Bowl. Because if the Rams get there, you know that he's going to be the favorite to score the touchdown on the entire Rams team, right? Or we got to bet, J.K. Dobbins or Travion Henderson or Devontae Adams, whatever. But it says all bets have action, regardless if the specified player's team takes part in the Super Bowl. Wow. Kind of just derailed my segment.
It's. I mean, there's only one word for it. It's dastardly. It's dastardly stuff by the books.
Wow. Super Bowl hypotheticals are out, but these lines, of course, will change because if the teams win in the championship games, that's going to change their power rating, of course. Like if the Broncos beat the Patriots, the Broncos are not going to be 8.5-point dogs against the Seahawks.
Yeah, Jarrett Stidham will be upgraded 3 points.
Yes.
Overnight.
So your hypotheticals right now, though, it is Seahawks minus 8.5 over the Broncos, Seahawks minus 3.5 over the Patriots, Rams minus 8.5 over the Broncos, and Rams minus 3.5 over the Patriots. Now this is why. Now think about this: if the line is exactly the same for the Rams versus the AFC and the Seahawks versus the AFC, then shouldn't the line in the NFC Championship game only be Seattle minus 1.5? Because the market, the sports book, is now telling us that the Rams and Seahawks are exactly evenly power rated. So the Seahawks should only be getting the 1.5 for home field.
Exactly. And under Mike McDonald, the Seahawks have not had the 12th man advantage. They've actually been one of the poorer home field advantages, especially compared to how well they've done on the road. So I think 1.5 is right. I think 2.5 is generous. 2 is generous. 2.5 is saying this is like a slam dunk spot. This is one of the hardest places to go to. The Rams go there twice a year. I think it's kind of making the argument for the Rams plus the points, or maybe you buy onto the 3, but it seems like the value's on the Rams side.
Would you rather buy onto the 3 or 2-leg 6-point teaser, Rams plus 8.5, Broncos plus 10.5?
It's a lot of faith in Jarrett Stidham. It's a lot of faith, but I think it might be the right bet. Because, I mean, like the nightmare scenario is, of course, he's a backup quarterback. Of course he lost by 30. But I don't think he's the average backup quarterback like we're talking.
It's so appealing after I just shit on teasers on Twitter.
Non-Wong teasers.
Plug it into your EV calculator up on betterday.com. See if it's something that you want to take advantage of. Certainly could be an interesting bet. Coaching news around the league. Still waiting to see what's going on in Buffalo. The Pagula, the owner, made a statement. And in his press conference, I thought it was funny. He was like, "What do the numbers 5, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2 mean?" or something like that. And everyone's like, "What?" And he was like, "That's our seeding in the playoffs." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, he's basically trying to say like we're a winning organization, like we're a good team.
Yeah, they're towing a weird line because they also talked about how Keon Coleman was the coach's pick and not the GM's pick.
Yep.
They're trying to heap on credit to the GM, saying this is how good we are.
Yes.
But also we're not good enough where we have to 180-degree change the direction of a team. I'm not sure if I buy it. I'm not sure if it's up arrow for the Bills after these changes.
Yeah. So very, very interesting. So it's going to be Brian Daboll, I think. I know they conducted an interview with Joe Brady, but I'm leaning towards Brian Daboll getting that job. I think some familiarity with Josh Allen goes a long way into, having them be ready to win a Super Bowl immediately. So that's something that we are certainly going to keep an eye on. Hey, this weekend we got UFC, and it's UFC, by the way. No more pay-per-views, Mackenzie. Like,
have we already had the last one, or is this the last one?
No, that's it. Like, we're in 2026 now, so all the UFC fights are on Paramount Plus now. So we got an event coming up here this weekend that is on Paramount Plus. We're all going to be able to watch it now. This is great.
So are we sending out the bat signal to our guy?
Tomorrow,
get some picks.
Tomorrow we will have AJ Hoffman on the pod, who will give us his picks for UFC 324. Justin Gaethje against Patty the Batty Pimblett. No more pay-per-view.
The Batty? That's his nickname? He's like an Instagram influencer? He's a baddie? Okay.
Paddy the Body. Against Justin Gaethje, and the rest of the card there for UFC 324. So, and that's it's gonna be a good card because you got Gaethje and Patty Pimblett. Sean O'Malley is fighting as well. He is always a big draw. Rose Namajunas.
Shout out to my fellow Irishman dominating the fight sports.
How about Rose Namajunas is a plus 300 dog. So she's got the name recognition, and then there's a bunch of fighters in the earlier card that their last names end in V. So we might just have to parlay all of those guys. Do you remember there was an event like 3 years ago where it was like every fight featured a fighter with a guy whose name ended in a V against a fighter that did not, and I jokingly said with AJ, I want to do the V parlay and give me all 5 fighters whose name ends in V. So it was like Nurmagomedov against Krylov or what. It was all these guys, and they all won. And
because that's what they do in that part of the world.
And he comes into the office on Monday, and he was like, "Did you bet it?" And I was like, "No, I was joking." And he was like, "You were joking?" He was like, "It won."
16-1.
Yeah, like all 5 of the fighters that had the V at the end of their last names, all won their fights. Crazy. So we'll get AJ on. He'll give us his best bets there for the UFC event that'll be coming up tomorrow. We do have exciting stuff still coming to the website. Happy that you guys are on board with us, and we're just trying to give you guys the best content and best tools possible to help make you guys better sports bettors. So head on over to betterday.com and check out all the exciting things that we continue to build for you guys. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.